Congratulations, you're at the end of your Town Monitor training. I'm so proud of you for dedicating yourself to becoming a better activist, and hopefully all of the modules and lessons that we've done so far are beginning to gel. But just to make sure, let's review and put it all together. We've covered how your town works, building relationships, assessing issues, and how to be the best advocate for your association. So let's run through it using your tools and your resources. We started with a little civics lesson on the way that decisions are made. Somebody gets an idea, it gets refined, has a public hearing, maybe some more changes, and then it's up to decision makers to enact it or not. Then we continued with reviewing the 4 different types of government we have here in Massachusetts, and I asked you to use your My Town worksheet to identify what kind of government you have. Next, we got into relationships, and we talked about how the relationships with politicians are just like any other. They need to look at the long term, and they need to be two-way. We talked about how the best ways for building relationships are through going to those events that they'll be at and thanking them. I asked you to jot down what events you thought you might be able to go to in the next 3 months. Writing this down is meant to help you hold yourself accountable. I suggest putting those activities into a calendar so you have deadlines. I'm personally the type who doesn't do anything unless I'm up against a deadline. Next, we talked about the issues. Aside from that relationship building and having your ear to the ground, you can do some really easy things like signing up for your town's e-newsletter, following the town on social media, or reading the newspaper. And if you're feeling really ambitious, you could take a few more steps. That led us into the 3-step process for assessing issues, where we learned all about how to get the details your association's going to need, decide if it could have an impact on issues you care about, and determine if it's going anywhere, using the assessment worksheet. The details are pretty easy. You need to take that rumor about a construction moratorium and figure out who's proposing it and find out what specific changes they want to make. It's also important for your liaison to know whether this is just a kernel of an idea in someone's mind or if it's actually had a hearing or is on the town meeting warrant. The next step in the process is to assess how it could impact the issues your association is concerned with. Lastly, we went over evaluating if the issue has legs. Is your city councilor proposing it just to appease his constituents? Is the proposal coming from the local gadfly that no one listens to? When the issue comes up, you'll send this completed worksheet to your town monitor liaison. They're going to do more digging, and the association will figure out how they want to handle it. And if they want you to do some advocacy, they'll ask you to use talking points that they put together. But to personalize it, you should use your storytelling and local stats to beef up your argument. We discussed how you should always have an elevator speech when talking to elected officials, beginning with identifying yourself as a resident and what it is that you want to talk about. You can get into specificity once you've gotten their attention. Then we got into effective modes of communication with decision makers. When you can, it's helpful to have one-on-one talks with decision makers so that you can relationship build, have a two-way conversation, and, when possible, have them look you in the eye. Then we show our investment on the issue by taking the time to follow up with them, to politely stay on top of them. And then, when and if they do what we want, we close the loop with a thank you. Other times you'll be asked to speak at a public hearing or town meeting. In those instances, you'll continue to use your elevator speech, but take care to know your audience. Whew, that was a lot. Congratulations. I hope you feel more confident about your advocacy moving forward. Don't forget you have your Town Monitor toolkit to keep you going. And also just be sure to let your coworkers know about this program. They can also be your eyes and ears, and just ask them to let you know if they hear of any issues in the community. And definitely try to attend at least one Town Monitor program event a year. You'll hear lots of good stuff, information on issues as well as process. Lastly, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions on this program, please email me at feedback@learntolobby.com. If you love this program, please rate my Facebook page and share it with your friends. Once more, thank you. I hope you feel more confident about your engagement and advocacy moving forward.